In one corner, we have Uber. In the other corner, we have Lyft. This has always been an epic battle of epic proportions. But in 2023, could there be an actual winner? Now, first off, there are a lot of sites already talking about this when it comes to Uber versus Lyft. I am going to be talking a lot about the stocks because that's a big thing. I haven't really talked about Uber stock or Lyft stock or whatever on this channel yet. And I want to stress, I'm a former accountant, but I'm not your accountant. Definitely want to say that, right? This is not meant to be stock trading advice or anything like that. If you do so at your own risk. But I'm going to go down here and skip down to Lyft. And this is a big thing, that Lyft right now features a market capitalization or a market cap of 4.65 billion. In case you don't know what that means, all a market cap is it's a determination of how valuable a given company is. I'm oversimplifying this, and to determine it, you need to times the outstanding shares by the value of each share, and that gives you the market cap. So for example, again, I'm oversimplifying a lot of this. If I own a company like Ferchero's rideshare service, and I have 10 shares, each share is worth $12. The market cap of my company is $120, 10 times 12. So that's the way they come to this 4.65 billion. And that's a very good indicator of how a company is doing. That's a big thing a lot of investors look at. And as you can imagine, although right now we're talking about stocks, this is super important to see, well, where is Uber and Lyft going to go? And could there be one company that ends up victorious over the other? Going down here in the most recent financial disclosure, the second quarter of 2022, Lyft generated revenue of 991 million. Going now down to Uber, you can see that when it comes to Uber, their market cap is 52.47 billion, significantly higher than just 4.65 billion. In addition, like I said, Lyft generated a revenue of 991 million. Let's round it to $1 billion. In the second quarter of 2022, Uber, however, generated a revenue of 8.07 billion. That is roughly 8 to 9 times more money than Lyft generated. And that is a huge thing when you look at the valuation, not only when it comes to the market cap, but how much revenue each company gained over time. This could play a massive issue. Even going here now to this site, this shows you the Lyft revenue versus the select expenses. Ignoring all the crazy math, all I want you to look at is this pink line. This is the revenue of Lyft. So as you can see, Lyft is doing decently well. Then the pandemic happened, of course, and now things have been going back up. But even from December 2021 to March 2022, had a bit of a lull, and then it went back up to June of 2022. Now going though to Uber, vastly different when it comes to the graph. I mean, it's tough to say this exact one line right here. It's kind of small to see, but it looks like starting from September of 2020, Uber's been on a steady incline, increasing, and that is very alarming to see. And I know I'm talking about stocks and numbers and finances, but remember, that's the backbone of any company. If Lyft is not doing well financially, they might not be around anymore. So what does this mean for the future? One thing I really want to say is I really hope both companies stay in existence. Like any field or niche or object or service in life, if you only have one company and that company has a monopoly over that specific arena, that is going to be horrible for everybody. Not just for people using that service, but for the people who are actually working for them. Talking now specifically about Uber and Lyft, if let's say Uber takes over and somehow Lyft goes away, that's going to be horrible for both drivers and passengers. Even if it's the other way around. Even if, let's say, somehow Lyft comes from behind, takes over Uber, and Uber goes away, that's also bad for drivers and passengers. So I think it's very important that in a unique rideshare balance yin and yang, I do think and I really hope that both Uber and Lyft stay in the game. Yes, there have been other rideshare companies coming about and really trying to break into the marketplace. I've already done a few videos about this. Being honest, it's unbelievably difficult to create a new ride-sharing company right now. I'm not saying it's impossible, but it's brutally difficult. And as a result, in my mind, when I think about ride-sharing, I just look at Uber and Lyft. I think that potentially, maybe another company could try to rival them, but it's so brutally difficult to do so. And I'm not gonna lie, this to me isn't too surprising. I think when it comes to most drivers and passengers, especially from years on out, they always loved Lyft the most. Lyft was kind of considered the friendlier app and more of a personal, kind of intimate connection. Uber kind of more the business type thing. However, though, I've seen over the years that kind of perception of Lyft being nice and Uber being mean. For example, I've heard that from a lot of people. I've seen that perception change a lot just because so many people use both apps now. Most drivers also drive for both apps. And as a side note, if you are a driver, like I've said in numerous videos, I highly suggest signing up for both apps. You're going to make the most amount of money doing so. But this is a big issue that I've always thought of, especially when it comes to traveling. I mean, here in America, Uber and Lyft, you can find them in almost every city in every state. However, in very, like, say, isolated areas or a lot of off-the-grid areas, Ubers are significantly more common than Lyft. Now talking about other countries and talking about worldwide, Uber is in significantly more countries and continents than Lyft is. That is a big issue. And of course, Lyft has been growing somewhat, right? You can see from the graphs, they've had some ups and downs, but for the most part, as a general whole, they are growing. But this is still a huge thing that I'm personally very worried about. This is something, especially in 2023, that I'm curious to see how does it play out. Because as you can imagine, if let's say Uber keeps getting bigger and Lyft just doesn't catch up, that's something that's really not sustainable over time. And it could be that maybe Uber buys out Lyft or something happens. I genuinely don't know. But I think looking at the numbers, looking at the signs, and again, remember, I'm a former accountant, but I'm not your accountant. This is not meant to be stock trading advice or anything. But looking just at the hard numbers and the math, there's a bigger and bigger divide between Uber and Lyft, and that's growing even more so. It seems like by the day, or by the month, or by the quarter. It could be that, especially with the way things are looking, Uber could potentially become victorious over Lyft in 2023. I really hope not, but we'll have to see.